Boom, monkeys, and we are live. Welcome back to the Crypto Boogie channel. Tonight we have Tuesday night technicals. There's some things also going on Twitter with Alex Jones, and I've got a little bit of Pulse Chain Alpha as far as onboarding tokens and things of that nature. A couple things to cover today. We also got the CPI reading as well, so we're going to cover that a little bit. This is going to be a little bit more interesting than the other streams we had. I am going to cover a couple more fun things as well, and I'm sure we're going to have a blast tonight, monkeys. So, without further ado, let's give a shout out to my homie in the chat who was the first person on here, none other than El Mecánico. Let's get it, Boogie. Show me them red candles to buy the dips. Hey, you got it, son. You got it. That's what we're going to do, homie. We're going to hit this shit up hard, man. We're going to get as much alpha as we can. I'm also going to cover a little bit of Solana, believe it or not. I haven't done Solana yet on this on my show, for the reason being that I was more bullish on Ethereum, but Solana may do pretty damn well, especially if you cats want to hold something a little bit more volatile than Ethereum. That'll get you up there. You know what I'm saying? And I do think that come the high points of 2025, a $3,000, $2,000 Solana is not off the table. It's not guaranteeing it, though. It's weird, though, because ever since Sam Bankman-Fried has gotten his dirty hands off freaking Solana with all the holdings he had up in FTX, I noticed that Solana hasn't been crashing as much as it usually does. There was rumors that when SBF was running FTX, he was doing that shit on purpose so he can go ahead and capitalize and dump on the heads of people that were holding that freaking token. Or that L1. With that mentioned, we're also going to cover the piece of equipment of the day, the meme of the day, and you know, I cannot not do this, man. We're going to have to cover the fragrance of the day as well. Now, I will incrementally throw these things at you cats so you don't stay bored, because I know technical analysis can get boring, and I don't want you cats bored because, hey, the more data you get, the better you guys are off, and the more likely you'll make it through this incoming freaking crypto bull run. You know what I'm saying? Now, shout out to my homie, Moonpilled Rational Optics. Let's do this. Hey, you got it, dog. You got it. But first, we got to start off with the meme of the day. Now, for you cats that are married, you've probably gone through this with your wives, or you cats that are knee-deep with your girlfriends, man. Let's go with this meme. How can I not share this meme, dog? How can I not share this meme? It's too funny not to share, you know what I'm saying? Let's see. Here we go. Here we go, son. Déjame verificar primero para asegurar que no estoy enseñando nada privado. Y aquí estamos. Here we are. Hey, this shit made me laugh when I saw it, man. So you cats enjoy.
This is a money tip that has saved me hundreds of dollars. It goes like this. How about this? If you don't buy the shirt, you can have 20 bucks right now. Are you serious? Totally up to you. Would you rather have the shirt or the 20 bucks? Yeah, I'll take the money. Check your hand. This was already mine, and now you get to keep it. Anytime you go to buy something, think if you'd rather have the cash it would cost or the item. It should tell you if it's worth it. This is a money tip that has saved me hundreds of dollars.
You can save that money to buy some more freaking Polkadot or some more Solana, or maybe even a little bit more Doge, man. You know what I'm saying? So, not a bad option at all. You know what I'm saying? So, now, of course, let me go and pull this data up. We are going to cover the weapon of the day. And today it's not going to be a firearm, but it's going to be a very rare friggin' Sig Sauer freaking blade. One of my favorite blades. I've held this blade since 2006, man, and good luck finding it. The name of this blade is, it's a Sig Sauer blade, but it's called the Sig Tactical Folder, and it's a two-tone blade. And this is one of my favorite blades that I've held on to for a while. You could probably find it on eBay. It's got the Sig Sauer logo on there, and you got them serrations. Of course, the reason I carry these blades is for self-defense. Now, for you cats that don't know this, that have traveled to Mexico, if you go to a state in Mexico called Tamaulipas, in Tamaulipas, you're not even allowed to own a blade. But from where my grandfather was from, in Nuevo León, that's A-okay. And I've always told some of my homies at church, they're like, well, dude, I want to get my daughter into jiu-jitsu. I want to get my daughter into boxing, but I don't want them to be around a bunch of freaking men and stuff like that. So I told, hey, dude, I mean, why don't you teach her how to use a gun? I think that'd be a great option. The second option would also be how to learn how to use a freaking blade. If you cats know anything about weapons, within 20 yards or within 20 feet, a knife always beats a gun. It always beats a gun because there's significant more damage you can do with a knife than a firearm. And I gotta admit, and you can even look at police vids, man, the guy with a knife usually wins. Even if you do hit even if the police does hit the suspect with whichever caliber of freaking round they're using, a 45 ACP, suspect still keeps moving forward. I've seen videos of where cops pepper spray bad guys, but still the suspect keeps moving forward. The only really effective tool that I've seen that cops have ever used to really doggone freaking neutralize a bad guy was the taser. That's if they hit their suspect. But one thing that you rarely ever miss with is none other than your blade. Blades are very important. You know what I'm saying? Very, very important. And some of the foreign countries even let you carry them. So that's a cool thing. You know what I'm saying? Blades are very important. I think that's an art that a lot of people do need to practice. I mean, of course, you got your boxing, you got your jiu-jitsu, you got your weapons, your guns training, your handgun training, your rifle training. Hey, don't forget about the blade, man. The blade's always great. Not to mention, man, if you got a spouse, you definitely want her to use the blade, man. How else is she going to freaking put the freaking mayo on your sandwiches? That's a boogie joke, man. That's a boogie joke, bro. Well, since we already covered the meme of the day, the joke of the day, and the blade of the day, let's hit up freaking doggone something boring as hell, none other than Bitcoin, man. After that, we'll cover something a little bit more, something funner, and then we will hit up definitely what's going on with the inflation rates here in the United States, if anything. But first and foremost, we do have to hit up freaking Bitcoin, see how it's doing. Now, yesterday, we were printing a green candle, if I remember correctly, and that's the way I told you guys, that we were printing a green candle. But today, after 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we are now printing a red candle. Our current value of Bitcoin is 40,923. As mentioned before, not much has changed from yesterday today, with the exception of the fact that we're getting a red candle print, and it does seem like we're going to continue down here to the downside. The CPI data that we got was actually on point. What the Feds expected is exactly what we got, and we'll cover that momentarily. But again, being redundant, for you guys that didn't see me yesterday, I do expect Bitcoin to possibly come down here to 40,000, give or take ballpark. You know what I'm saying? So when it does come down there, that would be a great time to DCA into your altcoin, a better time to DCA harder into your altcoins. But nevertheless, right now is not a bad time to DCA into altcoins, including Ethereum. Ethereum is at a value of about 2168. I like buying it under 2,200 bucks. We're not really going to cover the Ethereum chart today, but nevertheless, that is a good price or price point to get it at. Let's take this measuring tool back here and bring it up all the way over here. We are exactly at the 29-day mark, and tomorrow we will be at, I think, the CPI meeting. We should be hitting, not the CPI meeting, the FOMC meeting. Of course, 98% of the market is estimating that we're not going to get an interest rate hike, and there's even been talks of interest rate cuts inbound. We'll come back to the BTC chart, but let me go ahead and show you Katz's article. Now, Jerome Powell has not stated anything about freaking rate cuts as of late, but the news media is already covering it as if it's coming inbound. And this is none other than The Hill, and this is what they're talking about. Fed rate cuts could come as soon as June, the survey that they're getting. Now, why would this be? It would not be smart to go ahead and freaking cut interest rates right now, because I'm expecting inflation to run really hard to the upside. We would probably have to hold for a little while, at least into early 2025, to stabilize the way inflation's going. I still go to the grocery store, I still go shop, and I still do all these other things. I still buy weapons and ammo, And dude, inflation's been crazy. It's still crazy. It's still not down at the point where it needs to be at. But because we're approaching an election cycle, and the Biden administration wants to look good for its voters, so hence why I think that Jerome Powell probably got a little message of something indirectly advising them to get ready for some interest rate cuts. Now, the article, we're going to summarize it real fast. I'm going to share this in the link so you guys can go ahead and freaking read it yourselves. I'm not going to freaking go knee deep into this, but we'll just cover the summary as to what it states. A year after economists were bracing for a recession, the odds of a soft landing, easing inflation, and interest rate cuts are looking up. The Federal Reserve could begin to cut interest rates in mid-2024, according to the latest CNBC Fed survey. More than half of 35% of economists, strategists, and analysts surveyed built in a rate cut by June, with that number rising to 69% by July. So more than 50% of the people that participated in the survey are expecting an interest rate cut. And they're probably right about that, even though it is CNBC. You know what I'm saying? That's not surprising, and I can see that happening. Let me go ahead and share this with you guys, because if you guys want to read that article, it is in the chat right now, so hit it up. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, let's see. Now, let's go back to the Bitcoin chart and see what we missed. Pull this up over here. Now, I'm sure you cats can see this. Let me go ahead and erase this recent high. The highest point that we have been on Bitcoin is at approximately 44,729. The areas that we do need to compromise, as stated yesterday, is 48,517. I think that will probably come down here to the 40,000, and we'll start rallying to the upside the closer we approach freaking June 10th, or not June 10th, January 10th, due to the Bitcoin ETF that is inbound. Now, let's go ahead and see the sucker on the Bollinger Bands. Let's see how it's doing on the Bollinger Bands. And we are exactly at the 20-day moving average on the Bollinger Band, and that is acting as an area of support. So it may continue inching down and come down here to 40,000, give or take. Do I see it going lower than 40,000? I don't think it will. I heard some guy talking about it yesterday that it would probably come down to 38,000. That is a possibility. I just don't think it's going to happen, for the reason being that 40,000 is a psychological level, and I just don't see us dipping below that. So now that we covered the Bitcoin chart, let's go over, and I'm hoping freaking YouTube doesn't freaking strike me for this. I mean, I'm not going to share a lot of information on this, but as you guys can tell on the title, it says Alex Jones News. And I wanted to share a video with you cats. Hopefully this video doesn't get me in trouble, but nevertheless, let's cover that. Let's see what it says. So this is the Alex, and I'm going to roll this over into crypto, by the way, what we're going to cover here with Alex. So this is none other than Alex Jones. You guys can go over to his channel at Real Alex Jones, and we're going to watch this video about 1 minute and 18 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday, December 12th, 2023, and it is in the evening, and we are sending you this special report that is premiering exclusively here on X. What an incredible 3 or 4 days we've seen, where Elon Musk had the big poll. 70% of the people voted to reinstate us. I did a 2.5-hour spaces with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and General Flynn and so many other amazing people. We talked about the New World Order, the globalist plan to depopulate us. I asked Elon Musk, what should the name of the resistance be? And he was like, I'm not sure. And I said, how about Team Humanity? He agreed. This is epic, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, if you guys didn't catch that freaking video or that audio stream, go over to Twitter and check out that audio stream. You may even catch Ramaswamy taking a piss. Believe it or not, yeah, he screwed up, left his damn mic on, dude, and the dude was taking a piss. But they talked about some interesting stuff between Elon Musk, Ramaswamy, Alex Jones, and none other than Andrew Tate.
This is an incredible time to be alive. So I've been on air 29 years, and I have my syndicated radio show weekdays, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central at Infowars.com/show. It's on radio stations around the country. But following the footsteps of Tucker Carlson, I want to launch Alex Jones 2.0, Alex Jones on X. So most days, I'm talking about 7 days a week. Sometimes I may be at home. I may be on the road. A lot of times I'll be here in studio like I am now. I'm going to shoot 5 to 15-minute reports. I'm never going to make them longer than that.
And that's enough data on Mr. Alex Jones. You know what I'm saying? So, as you guys know, Alex Jones is going to be coming out a lot more on Twitter. That's one of the only spaces that I think he's permitted to freaking go live. I don't know if he's gone live on Rumble. I think he was. I was listening to Tim Pool today while I was having chow, and I think he did mention that Rumble got attacked. Believe it or not, they got a cyber attack because I think they reinstated Alex Jones, and it's probably politically based, if anything. Now, what's this got to do with crypto, if anything? Of course, you guys guessed it. It's certain tokens that are going to be freaking valued within the crypto space. So let's see how Ton is doing, because I expect Telegram, which are the owners of the Ton token, to do pretty well. So I wanted to share this with you cats as far as the Ton token goes, because Ton's going to be one of those tokens that's probably going to run pretty hard. Yesterday when we had talked, I had mentioned that this candle print here, the current one that we have right now, or not the current, the one we had yesterday, which did reach a low of about $2.06, that it would not compromise this area, which I had marked at the 23-day mark on the daily. Now, of course, the current candle that we are printing via UTC time is currently at $2.03. Do I think it's going to compromise this area of about $1.92 on this weekday? Absolutely not. I don't think it will. I'm probably going to start, probably after this broadcast that I'm doing, I'm probably going to start DCAing into Ton. I do want to get a little bit of this token. This is not financial advice, but I do think this token is going to do extremely, extremely well. Now, yesterday when we covered this token, we did not check it out on the weekly. So if we activate our EMA ribbon, we are using the current weekly candle, and the doggone EMA ribbon is holding it up as support. So if we backtrack on prior data, we also have support right here. Let me go and turn off the EMA ribbon. So if I grab this line and I put it right here, guess what it did? It stopped the current fall of the current candle that we have on the weekly. And that's because we have these two candles over here that are protecting it. I do think that this is a strong area of support, and I don't think it'll go below $1.92 unless a black swan event occurs. Again, as stated, I do want to get some of this token. The unfortunate thing is that you could only possibly get it on none other than, I think, Uniswap and possibly CowSwap. I would rather use CowSwap, if anything. So, talking about CowSwap, let's go over to some freaking doggone Pulse Chain Alpha. Now, we're not going to cover the doggone Pulse Chain chart. We're not going to do that. We're actually going to cover some data that came out on Pulse Chain and some of the things that I wanted to share with you guys. And this is for onboarding new crypto. Now, you guys have heard me freaking bark up this tree a long freaking time and say that I believe EHEX is probably going to do better than PHEX. I still believe that. But one thing that I am noticing that is pretty bullish amongst the freaking Pulse Chain ecosystem is none other than the fact that a lot of freaking companies are building freaking on-ramps to get into freaking Pulse Chain. Now, do I think this is going to do better than an exchange listing? Absolutely not. Because for people to get this information as to how to onboard to crypto without using an exchange is kind of foreign to a lot of people out there. You know what I'm saying? So let me share this data for you guys. This is what it mentions. How to buy PLS by bridging USDT from the BNB chain. And it goes on to say, launched on May 12, 2023, Pulse Chain has garnered significant interest from individuals in the cryptocurrency community who are eagerly looking forward to acquiring PLS tokens. However, given the recent establishment of the blockchain, PLS is not expected to be quickly listed on major exchanges, posing a potential challenge for novice investors seeking to make a purchase. Recently, Pulse Chain introduced Gate, serving as the bridge between BNB Chain and Pulse Chain. PulseGate provides a convenient options for simplifying the process of acquiring PLS for those utilizing the BNB chain. Let's explore a detailed guide on purchasing Pulse with funds from the BNB chain using Pulse Wallet. Transfer your assets to USDT on the BNB chain, then send USDT amount to the wallet address of your Pulse Wallet account. Navigate to the Pulse Wallet and access the bridge section. Opt to exchange USDT on the BNB Smart Chain for USDT on Pulse Chain. Enter the desired swap amount and click send token to receive your BUSDT on Pulse Chain. So there you go, guys. I wanted to go ahead and share this article with you cats because I think this is important information so you guys can go ahead and onboard instead of going through the hassle of using the freaking Pulse Bridge. I've heard a lot of people complain about the freaking Pulse Bridge taking too long. And some of us, a lot of times, are on the road and are not in front of a computer. So you guys can go ahead and use this to go ahead and access that data. You know what I'm saying? Now, that is the information we got on Pulse Chain. Let's go ahead and cover the PulseX token, because if I'm going to continue buying crypto within the Pulse Chain ecosystem, it'll probably be PulseX more than anything else. And let me see. This is the PulseX on Dex Screener. PulseX current value is at 4 zeros and a 1373. We have just finished our 14-day cycle within the past 20-day cycle. Could we go lower? Yes, it is a possibility. The area that lowest that we can go to is 4 zeros and a 1109. That could occur. And if that does happen and we do come to the downside, that's a better area to ape in harder into the PulseX into the PulseX token. I am bullish on this token. I think a lot of people are underrating it. I think eventually Richard Hart is going to launch Ethereum on PulseX, and I definitely believe that PulseX is probably going to freaking melt some faces. It's just that a lot of people are taking it for granted at the time being. So, as mentioned earlier, let's go ahead and grab this freaking measuring tool and grab the PulseX token and push. Currently, we're at about day 7. So, 8, 9, 10. We've got about 7 days, give or take. 7 days, give or take, before we start seeing a bottom on PulseX. Again, as stated, it would not surprise me that we would get it at 4 zeros and a 1-1. That is not impossible, but I would start DCAing if I wanted to get a little bit of PulseX, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? What do you cats think? You guys bullish on freaking PulseX? Tell you one thing, I am. Now, of course, yesterday we covered the fragrance of the day. And let's go ahead and do that right now. We are going to cover the fragrance of the day, for the reason being that Kevin Samuels got me addicted to fragrance. And when I go to the gym, believe it or not, yes, I put on fragrance, man. Because it catches a lot of people's attention. Of course, I do like 1 or 2 sprays. And the spray that I do use, and the best gym scents that you can utilize, believe it or not, is none other than freaking soapy smelling fragrances, especially when you're in a hot environment, or when you're at the beach, or when you're freaking working out and things of that nature. And this is the one I like to rock. Let me see if I can get this closer to you cats, or this is probably the closest I can get it. And this is something called Versace Pour Homme. On average, this sucker runs for about $42, and it's got about, $42 for 100 mLs. That's pretty damn good, and it'll last you a long time. It emits about, I would say, about a foot or two, give or take, especially when you're working out and you start sweating. It does catch a lot of the ladies' attention. I do like it, and this is the main fragrance I use on hot days or on days that I'm working out at the gym hardcore. So, food for thought, cats. Let me go ahead and share that in the chat with you guys. No, I am not freaking paid by freaking Versace. You know what I'm saying? To go ahead and shill this freaking fragrance. I just think it's dope. If you guys want to get it, I'm linking it in the chat so you guys can freaking take advantage of this. You know what I'm saying? So food for thought. There it is, cats. Tear it up. Tear that shit up, son. Now, one of the other tokens that I did want to cover today, but before we do that, I think I got one more piece of information. Oh, yeah, I do. Before we evolve into Solana, let's go ahead and hit up freaking some more data as to what's going on with freaking Pulse Chain. Here we go. This is not as bullish as the other information that I showed you. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, it is good information. And this is Katie Pulse Crypto. Katie, she did post this. Breaking: CowSwap repiled, repiled, I'm sorry, my eyes are scrolling with me. Replied and are going to look into supporting Pulse Chain in January. Show them some love, guys, so they know that their service is much wanted on the Pulse Chain ecosystem. Now, CowSwap has been freaking friendly to a lot of hexagons, which is pretty damn dope. And I think we should capitalize on this shit. Absolutely. Because CowSwap is awesome. They offer MEV protection for one without other features. Just the MEV protection alone is fire. So food for thought, guys. CowSwap is freaking helping out the freaking Richard Heart ecosystem. So that's pretty damn dope in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with that? So also give Katie Pulse a follow. She does drop a lot of data and she is pretty down to earth. You know what I'm saying? Food for thought. So the next thing I wanted to cover, monkeys, is some Solana. Hopefully I didn't erase that shit. But before we do that, let me hit up the chat. I haven't hit up the chat. Hey, Boogie, what is the wallet you custody that? Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about the TON token. The one that Miguel recommended for me is TON Keeper. You could actually download the app on the Apple iStore, and I'm sure you can get it on the Google Play Store. That's responding to your freaking message, freaking smooth brain. Food for thought, homie. Oh, and shout out to my homie Ivan from New Mexico, Team Humanity. You know it, son. You know it, dog. You know it. So let's hit up freaking Solana. Wait a minute. Didn't I say I was going to cover freaking the current CPI reading? Let's go ahead and share that shit. Now, the current CPI reading, they were expecting the United States inflation rate month over month to be exactly at 0.1% for the month of December, and we got 0.1. So we didn't come in too hot as far as inflation rate goes compared to the other months that you guys see on this chart. For example, one of the previous months, and I think this was around September and August, we got an inflation rate of 0.6, which was pretty damn hot. You know what I'm saying? So hence why not a lot of stuff is moving in the crypto market. Yeah, BTC is going to the downside a little bit, but that's the information we got, cats, as far as inflation rate goes. Now, let's check out core inflation rate. Let's check out how the core inflation rate's doing. Now, core inflation rate, the consensus was that was going to be 0.3, as you guys can see here in the month of freaking December, and we got exactly that, exactly on the freaking, exactly as predicted. That's what they had expected, and that's exactly what they got. You know what I'm saying? Hence why they're talking about freaking starting to cut interest rate hikes. Now, Jerome Powell has not mentioned that. Let's see how he comes out tomorrow talking about the inflation rates and how he's going to freaking proceed to go ahead and freaking move forward. I'm assuming he'll probably come out a little bit dovish. What do you cats think? ¿Qué piensan ustedes? And we got my homie here, Will Stevenson. Aloha, amigos. ¿Qué pasó, vato? What's up, dog? So we'll go ahead and share the last freaking item that we're going to cover today, and that's none other than Solana. Now, as mentioned earlier, that I do think Solana's probably going to do pretty well, especially after SBF has got his dirty hands out of this freaking token. Now, it is VC backed, and a lot of freaking big time investors are heavily freaking involved with this token. So our current value is exactly at $66.20. Looking at the 20-day cycles, currently, it seems, of course, quote me on that, we could push farther out than that, if anything. It seems that we just started a new cycle, and we're barely on day number 2. Could we continue breaking to the downside? Absolutely. What am I noticing? That we do have a shitload of support over here at about 57 bucks. I don't want to freaking draw another ray, but I'll go ahead and do that for you cats for optical reasons, so you guys can get a better visualization as to where we can go. Let's put it here at about $57. We could possibly go down there if we continue trending to the downside and we break this candle that we went ahead and we printed on Monday, the lows being 64.18. Know what I'm saying, homies? I don't think we'll go lower than that, but if we do, Solana could be at a buying opportunity for you cats that want to hold it. It would not surprise me if Solana goes up to $3,000 at the top of the next bull run, if anything. You know what I'm saying? If you want something, if you want to hold on to something a little bit more volatile than Ethereum, this is one of the solutions you can go ahead and utilize. Of course, remember that they did have a lot of shutdowns last freaking cycle. So food for thought, even though SBF has got his dirty hands out of this freaking token, nevertheless, it can do the same thing again. So food for thought, cats, food for thought. So before you start putting all your Ethereum freaking doggone bags into Solana, don't do that shit. If you're going to do that, maybe do 5% of the bag, 10% of the bag. Just DCA into Solana. That'd probably be the best thing to do. I'm not really going to buy any of this token. I've got my freaking eyes set on other tokens, more Ethereum, if anything, because I do got to have something to stabilize my portfolio. Now, if we go to the 4-hour chart, let's see how it's doing with the EMA ribbon. And we have slightly broken below the EMA ribbon on the 4-hourly. So what does that entail? We could break to the downside, but we do have this 200 moving exponential moving average as an area of support here at 59 bucks, give or take. You know what I'm saying, cats? So that's the data I wanted to cover with you guys. Go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and like this video. Freaking I'll be posting it. I'll be posting it up on Instagram as well. Follow me on Twitter, cats. And I will catch you fools on the flip side.